Tell your story and tell us how you found life.
My story. I've been on drugs most of my life, all of my adult life, and I've been in prison most of my adult life. I did 7 years flat this last time, and I guess either I matured in there or I changed. I came out a different person, I guess. I'm still not perfect by all means, but I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what.
I just wanted you to say what you want to say.
I don't know what I want to say.
So, what started? Would you have a desire to be like the black sheep, or you just thought the black sheep would get your attention, or?
Yeah, probably it was more for attention and more for I wanted. I don't know. I guess somebody paid attention to something I was doing maybe when I was younger, and then it went from there to it just became part of who I was. I don't know. I had this hard exterior, and I don't know. Like I said, it goes from being something that you do after so many years of it being who you are, and then you don't know who you are without it. And it took probably 5 years in prison this time before I figured out who I was, and that I was okay with myself without it. Or I just felt like I was nothing. Like I would get out other times, and it was like I was a robot. Like I would say the things I was supposed to say and dress the way I was supposed to dress and act the way I was supposed to act, but none of it was real. And I was just waiting for the first excuse so that I could mess up,
Yeah.
And this time I didn't feel like I needed that excuse, Like I didn't feel like I wasn't just looking for some reason to justify it in my head, I guess, or justify it to everyone around me.
So, to the world, I know they don't understand us, right? But there is a hope and there is a cure. And I think it all comes back down to loving yourself.
I think it has a lot to do with loving yourself, and I think it has a lot to do with not loving yourself enough that you overcompensate with other people. Like I said, I would use men in my life, and I wouldn't even have a life. My whole life would be whatever that man's life was, And then so then if they weren't around, then I wasn't anything good. If I didn't have drugs, if I didn't have that man, then I didn't know who I was, because I'd always revolved my life around somebody else's, or revolved my life around drugs, or revolved my life around, it was never about me or what I wanted or what I...
So isn't that also a type of prison in itself, though, the addiction, because we're bound to it? For me, if I don't give a damn, you can say you ain't getting no alcohol at all, nowhere today, it's Sunday. I'll slip across the river. I mean, we can figure it out. That's why I said earlier, we're not dumb.
I think I've outgrown the addiction.
But I don't know why we want to feel different than how God made us.
I don't know. I think I've outgrown the addiction part of it a lot. I don't have to do it with drugs. I don't have to. Mine's more the lifestyle. I don't know. I'm nervous and awkward around people that aren't in that lifestyle, or that haven't did the same things I've done, or haven't, because people are judgmental, or they're overly friendly, or overly try to make me feel comfortable, and then that just makes it even weirder, So it's more the lifestyle. It's more, or in my world, the lifestyle I've led, and it's street credit, and it's what I mean. It's a privilege. Like in most normal fucking civilized parts of society, it's taboo and it's a bad thing, So it makes it more okay for me to do the things, I guess, that I do or I did, or I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. If you had to give, and I think about this to put this in context, like me with my son, but if we had to give them one quality that's real good about you, what would you want her to have?
Maybe... I don't know. Maybe the ability to, but I don't know what that's gonna do. I'm adaptable, and that's always been very, but it's also manipulation too. I can make anybody like me, or I can make any situation really how I want it to be. But that's really not a good thing either. So not that one. I don't know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being a communicator. Yeah, it's just that you're a communicator of light or darkness.
It's a difference.
So let me ask you a question.
I explained to her one time. She was at one of your daughters. She was at your daughter's house at one of her parties, and it was when I first got out of prison. And she called me, just crying because she's awkward too. I don't know. She felt weird, and I thought somebody was being mean to her. She used to always think that, and I was like, Jason, you're going to realize in life, yes, you're loud. Yes, you're loud. You're extra. You're a lot. And I was like, but that's okay. Some people are going to like you the way you are. And some people you're not going to fit in with. And that's absolutely fine. Those just aren't your people. You have to find the people that are your people and surround yourself with them. Because if you surround yourself with people that aren't your people, that are going to make you feel uncomfortable, that are going to make you nervous, then you're constantly going to be being nervous. And you're constantly going to think you're doing something wrong. And you're constantly, I was like, if you know that you're in a situation where you don't feel comfortable, it's probably just because those aren't your people. But that's okay. You know, everybody has different people.
I think probably one of the best things you can do in life is just accept yourself, and then the people that love you, and if they don't,
But
let them go.
But at such a young
I'm not
age
a kid like that. I
Yeah, but
understand.
at such a young age like that, I mean, it was she was 20, 21, you know, but that's, you're still forming like your sense of self-esteem and self-worth and self, you know, so if you're surrounding yourself by people that are mean to you or that don't, or act, make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel like, you know, that you're always doing something wrong or an outsider, then you're going to always feel like that, because those are big developmental years, you know, in your life where you develop your character.
Well, so let me ask you another question. You know, in recovery, everyone pushes for a higher power. This is the only time I'm going to cut in on this, okay? But a higher power is really something that you have to have in whatever form you decide it, right?
Something stronger than yourself.
So what do you think about that? I mean, are you faith-based? Do you believe in something greater than this?
I'm probably agnostic, if anything else. I mean, I believe there probably is something. I just am not sure what it is. I don't believe there's a God is sitting in a chariot judging if I go to church every Sunday. I believe that if there is, that we'll be judged by the person we are and the things that we do. I believe in the Bible as much as like morals and a set of guidelines to live by, but I also believe that it was written by man, and I've seen man manipulate every situation, and at the time the church wanted to control. You know, but I'm not saying that I believe what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know. You know, like that's more what agnostic. Like I don't know what there is, but I'm hoping that whatever if it is judging, it will be judged by the things you've done and the person you are.
You know what I have a hard time with? Just real talk. I have a hard time with a God that says, "Forgive your enemies and pray for those that despitefully use you." And then he turns around and he says, "I'm going to burn you all." I mean, I'm just being honest. I got several biblical degrees with that scaboli. But, hey, I'm telling you right now, listen, I don't.
What does scaboli mean? What does it mean?
That's bullshit.
What, bullshit?
It really means literally cow manure.
Yeah.
But
and didn't you make a shirt?
I got one.
Do you? Is that what that one is?
Oh.
Oh, let me see the back. Turn around, let me see the back.
Oh, you want to see mine now? Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, man, I didn't just shake that scaboli off. I whipped it like a horse, boy. I got it off of there. Boom. No, I think that's a part of life, though. I think that's the key, is you got to forget what happened yesterday. Everybody that fights, everybody that fusses, everybody that remembers your past, everybody that can
care about what happens tomorrow also. Even if you don't forget about yesterday, even if you can forget about yesterday, you still have to care about what happens tomorrow.
But if you don't do your best today, your tomorrow's going to be jacked, okay?
But also, if you make it through the worst thing absolutely possible.
What is that?
That you can think of? I don't know. I mean, if you make it through.
I mean, I died for 3 minutes. Could it get worse?
Yes. You died for 3 minutes? Do you remember it?
Yeah.
I was in prison for almost 11 years. I remember every minute of it. It was pretty bad. I think 3 minutes.
So what got you through that tough time when you were in prison, solitude, and you weren't talking to anybody? Tell me where you were mentally, and then did you have some?
I shut down.
But you didn't have some touch with a higher power, or you just closed off to everything?
I shut down. That's what I do is I shut down. Well, I mean, I told you I did my time different ways. One prison sentence, I was so religious, and I read the Bible every day, and I was going to live my whole life by it. And then one prison sentence, I was just all about my family. And, you know, or I was just in, 1 minute it was all about, it's always been different. It's always been different. But I shut down. That's not a good thing, because that means out here, I've learned to shut down too. You know, so the first sense of anything that I don't think I can deal with, I just shut down and leave or walk away. You know, I don't deal with anything. Even small, tiny things, or like stuff like going into a store, like I can't pick out a pen because there's too many pens because somebody's made decisions for me my whole life. Like I told you I had to get glasses the other day, and I was just like so overwhelmed I had to call my daughter to do a video chat.
So would you say that, and I would say this about me, and I'm older than you, but
not a lot.
I would say that a place of self-discovery Would you say that?
Yes, very much.
Like a place of self-discovery is a healthy thing.
Discovering who you are without that addiction.
Like when I decided to do this podcast, okay, I don't care what they're filming now. But when I decided to do this, everybody said, Cho, be yourself. If you be anybody but you, it's not going to work. So you came to my mind because I wanted to talk to you. Not in a judgmental way. It's just I think the world needs to know that, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel, you know? And, hey, you ain't got to have your shit together all the way to get better.
Yeah. Oh, I could be in prison right now and I would still be a better person. I would still be happier and a better person than I was. You know, like, I would have rather, like when I got to, so they denied me parole 5 times, 5 years in a row. And when I got to my last sentence, I didn't even go see parole. I didn't want to. I didn't even care if I saw him or not because I was like, I didn't even know if I wanted to get out. You know, like I was nervous about getting out because I was like, if I do get out and if I'm not on drugs, and what if I still do the same things that I was doing, then that just makes me a bad person and I don't have an excuse anymore.
You kind
I do.
You kind of feel like, you know, like, yeah, I've always read, and I don't want to compare us to dogs, but I've always raised and bred dogs. I love dogs. To me, sometimes they're more nicer than humans, you know. Not real nice, but kind of nice. But when you get, they're eating the dogs. You should see it. It's unbelievable what they're doing. I walked in, I said, wow, they're eating the dogs. No, but so, like, a dog, it's always been an offense, right? It's been its own place. And you don't want it to get out because if it gets out of its fence, it's going to get into mischief. I feel like that with me and my own sobriety. Like, I know if I get off too long, might not be okay. Mm-hmm. And you got to have people, I think, then that you trust and love to help you, but not stab you, you know?
Or not judge every little bit of mistake you make.
Yeah, there's 5 swords laying on the table. Which one they're going to stick in the back, you know, the back with next? 5 swords laying on the table. Which one are they going to stab you with? That's how you feel when you're with family because, and I think that's what I wanted to go back to, is you talked about family and institutional family. Because that's a whole different thing, you know? It's one thing that you're family because you have a special relationship with me. You're kin to me. Okay, you have to love me. It's another thing to have someone just love you.
Or it's different if it's just a codependent, feeding off each other. Also, sometimes it's not healthy too. Like that's what I would see in there mostly. It's not healthy. It's just because they weren't strong enough to make it through things without somebody else, you know? So you'd have to go ask their play mom permission to do something like you're in prison. So definitely you're old enough to be an adult. And why are you going and asking this woman if you can pass a note to some other girl? You're like, I would just never want to do those childish things. They're very childish.
I bet you're doing better today.
I am. Hopefully better tomorrow. Maybe then I might fall back 5 steps.
Let's just say faith in source. Whatever made us, gave us our intellect, gave us our Christ consciousness. Mm-hmm. You know it's in you. Something tells you you're a good person, right? All right, so I got one more question to ask you, and then we're done. Okay. I want you to show me some of your tattoos and tell me what they're about.
Okay. This one is about absolutely nothing anymore. It used to be. It wraps all the way up my arm back.
Hey, look here, man. If you're going to tell stories about your tattoos, you can't say they don't mean shit.
Well, this one started out as poison ivy, and it was like suffocating me because that's what I felt like. Like my whole life was just wrapped around me, suffocating me. Uh-huh. And then slowly the honeydews. My daughter, when she was young, she used to, that's what she wanted to do so bad. She always wanted to pick these honeydews, and I'd always be sick, or I would be out of pills, or I wouldn't want to get up because every time I'd be around her, I'd be sobering up, you know. And so, and she would cry and beg me to pick these honeydews. And so, I put them on my arm so that I would remember, like simple things like that, you know. This one's a lot of cover-ups, some bad names. I've got a scorpion on my side. I did this one. I guess I don't know where I show. I don't even know what I have. Oh, this is a prison tattoo. It says 936 both ways. Just on my legs.
What does 936 mean?
And then it says 936 both ways.
Is that your area code where you know how to get home? Hey, listen. I'll be honest with you. It's good to see you laugh and to see you smile, and I'm glad to see you doing good.
Thank you.
I mean, so for all those out there that's like us, there's hope, right?
Yeah.
You have hope.
Hope.
Talk a little bit about your hope right now. You know you have people love you, right?
Yes.
Hey, I really appreciate you sharing your story because, a lot of people will bullshit you. They'll come at you about different things, but I think you're doing a great job just being honest about life. And, I feel sometimes like that song, Starting Over. But you know what? At least I can start over today. Mm-hmm. And I've learned to try to build a bridge instead of damn burning it down.
And every time I start over,
because it makes me happy to burn that shit down. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you ever feel like that? Like, burn the bridge, burn it.
More, I'm building a castle with a big wall and a moat and a bridge, and then I'm going to burn the bridge down.
Well, baby girl, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story and your message of hope and faith and higher power as you understand him.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I love you as a sister in Christ, and I hope you keep progressing on your journny. Remember, it's just progress, not perfection.
Yes.
None of us have it. I'm going to come give you a hug. Okay. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome for this hoodie, too. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes,
and it's on sale now
and
on
the
the Burning
shirt-
Bush Company.
And the shirt says